Let's see how to use classes and objects in Dart programming. So before starting the building of classes and objects, let's see what is the syntax of declaration of classes and objects. So for creating class, we have to use keyword names as class. So this is a keyword for initializing the class, and after putting the keyword class, uh, I have to write the name of my class. So here, for example, we have to create a class for student or employee. So here, for example, I'm going to create a class for employee. So I will write the name of class names as employee and then curly braces. So the name of the class would be start from the capital letter. It cannot be start from the small letter. Basically, this is the syntax which we have to follow. So by following this syntax, we have to declare the class by writing the first capital letter of the class name. So after that, we have to write the properties or properties or instance of our classes. So after instances, we have to write the methods or functions in our class, and after that we have to build the constructors. So these are the basically uh, things which we have to follow for declaring the class. So constructor can be parameterized or default constructor. So in default constructor, we will not declare any kind of parameters inside the constructor. So if you have seen the last videos about the functions, so there are the functions, there are the type of functions which are accessing parameters and non-parameterized parameterized construction. So there are the functions where we are passing parameters inside the function, and there are some functions where we were not passing parameters inside the function. So same as constructors, two types of constructors: default constructor without parameters and the constructor with parameterized. So this is the syntax of class. After creating the class, we have to access the class properties and functions inside the main function. So inside the main function, we have to create an object which will help to access the properties and methods which we have declared over here. So this is basically the syntax for accessing and creating the class in Dart programming or any other programming language. So this is a basic syntax. So now let's create a class. It's up to you. You can create a class uh, before the main function or after the main function. So by following the conventional method, I'm going to create first main function, and after that I will create my class. So for creating class, I have to declare the class name, and after that I will create my class name. So here I'm going to create the class for employee. So after employee, I have to create the properties of employee. So what are the properties of employee? So for properties of employee, the first property of employee would be the name of employee, and the second property would be the desig of employee. Desig mean designation of employee. Oh, sorry, here I did not spell correctly of string data type. And then I will create the profession prof profession prof mean basically the profession of employee, and then the age of employee. So there are four instances or properties which we have declared here. So there are four properties, and after properties we have seen that after properties we have to declare the methods or functions. So now I'm going to create methods or functions. Okay, so what are the functions what the employee can perform? So employee can perform working, so I'm going to create the function working void. And so it is basically a user defined function, so I can create any kind of function. Like, so here I am going to create a function for working, so I will name it working, and then parameters of functions, and then here this the body of function. So I'm going to pass print statement, and inside print I will pass uh, name is working as a, so here I will pass prof. So this is the function and the instance which we have created inside the class. So basically here you can see compiler is showing the error. So it is showing that you have created the variable inside the class, but you did not initialize it, so you just have declared the variable. So for avoiding the error we have to write the word late. Late mean we will initialize it lately, so it will remove the error, and it will understand that the user will initialize the subject lately. So after that, this is the basically my blueprint of class. So class is basically a blueprint, so I have made a blueprint here, you can see here. And now I have to build the object. So for building the objects or physically creating something, so I have to basically creating the object so I can build something uh, so I can build something properly. So for building something we have to create the object. So for creating the object we have so basically we create object so we can access the properties and the functions which we have declared inside the class. So here I'm going to create my object. So I will create a var data type, var data type, and inside var data type I'm going to create my object. So my object name would be amp. Amp is basically my object name, and I will store I will basically here accessing my for accessing the properties and function class I have to pass my class here. So basically here I have write the I have declared my employee as an object which is accessing the properties of my class from um, uh, by typing the class name here. So here my class property will be accessed when I will declare the object, and the object will hold the class here. So here you can see that I have declared object and the object is holding the class. So the first thing, if I have to pass the data of employee class name, then I will use I will use object and object with name. So basically I'm accessing this name by using dot operator. So emp is, you can see that is my object which is accessing the property of this class employee by using dot operator. So dot operator is basically is using for accessing the property and with the help of this class. So basically I am going to create the I am going to assign the value of name variable which we have declared inside the class. So here I will pass my name a value of name, and then the desi of employee. So designation would be software engineer, and the profession. Oh, so sorry, here designation would be senior software engineer. So software engineer is senior software engineer, and then the profession would be software engineer. Okay, so the last thing is age. Oh, sorry, dot age. So age would be 23. Okay, so here I have accessed all the properties which I have declared here. So now I'm going to access my class, access my functions which I have declared inside the class. So here working, oh sorry, m dot working. So here I have declared my class, and then here I have accessed the properties and function which I have passed in the class. So if I run it, it will not show any kind of output. Basically here I'm just passing my function. So function is, you can see here, is showing, but I cannot see the name and the designation and profession which I have passed here, because here I have just initializing them. I am not printing them out. So for checking them out, I have to use print statement, and inside the print I will pass the name, and then print and m dot age, and then print m dot desig, and the last one is print m dot profession. So here I'm printing all my properties which I have declared here. So when I will run it, it will execute and show the output which I have declared here. So here you can see that Ali's name and his age is 23, and he is a senior software engineer, and this is the profession. So by using this way, we can create the class and access the class inside the main function, and the properties of classes inside the main function. So this was the method which we have discussed, and by following this method you can create your classes. So if you have any kind of problem regarding the understanding of classes, you may ask in the comment section.